Osiyonagad, Jennifer Loren Dawadol. Hello, everyone. I'm Jennifer Loren, Cherokee Nation citizen and host of Osiyo, Voices of the Cherokee People, and Senior Director of Cherokee Film. Welcome to Chalagi, wherever we are. Cultural tourism provides the Cherokee Nation the unique opportunity to show the world who we are and what we represent through our own lens, our own perspective. Our tribe has been accruing unprecedented numbers of museums, monuments, and properties on which historic events took place and important Cherokees lived and gathered here in the Cherokee Nation. Sites like Sequoia's Cabin, Dwight Mission, Saline Courthouse, to name a few. Today, we get to sit down with individuals who are the force behind all of these endeavors. Here's the lineup for today's show. First, we'll be hearing from Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr., getting his take on the importance of tourism in the Cherokee Nation. Next, we'll take a look inside the Cherokee National History Museum with Cherokee National Treasure Danny McCarter. Then Melissa Payne joins Travis Owens and me to discuss our National History Museum and the current Friedman exhibit there. Following that, we will take a look at the graphic design skills of Cherokee National Treasure Dan Mink, the man behind our Cherokee National holiday designs and whose work is also on display at many of our museums. Then I will be joined by Deputy Chief Bryan Warner and Executive Vice President of C&B Marketing and Cultural Tourism, Molly Jarvis, to discuss Destination Cherokee Nation, all the places you need to visit here. After that, Tribal Councilor Darrell Legg shares his remarks on tourism in his neck of the woods. And finally, Christy Neuhoff will share some exciting news regarding one of our main attractions, the Cherokee Heritage Center. So please be sure to stick around. But before we start, I'll turn it over to the gifted and talented Candace Bird Boney, Cultural Tourism Coordinator, who will open our event with a spiritual offering.
Please join me in a moment of prayer. Ogi doda galaladiahi, galaktiu ge sesti tejadogai, jagawiyuhi gesa wigal nagoi, ahani elohi adonteskai, inunudo doisa o galstaiti, skia sikoiga, digeskia siuno, naskia dojine, doji tugi, hale tlesti, Udali di Gesu diskiatanastanai, skiu dile skeskini, uyo gesai, jujeli han jaiganwi yuhi. Hale jalana di gesa, hale di negohila, ska wingasta, emena.
Wado, Candace. And now it's my pleasure to introduce my friend and Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. for his remarks. Chief?
Osiyo, tourism is important for Cherokee Nation and all of Northeast Oklahoma. Our tribe's multiple museums and cultural sites showcase and preserve our rich culture while also creating jobs and economic opportunities for so many citizens. As Principal Chief, I've taken an oath of office to preserve and defend our culture. It's a big responsibility, but something I enjoy because every county within our 7,000 square mile reservation has significant cultural treasures. Globally, interest in Native American culture continues to grow. Tribes, including the Cherokee Nation, can benefit by sharing our unique history and heritage. We are preserving and promoting Cherokee culture more today than ever. We have multiple state-of-the-art modern facilities as well as historically significant sites across the reservation, which enable us to do just that. Tourism efforts have led to the preservation and restoration of multiple historic buildings, including the iconic Cherokee National Capitol, which is now the Cherokee National History Museum, and the Sequoia Cabin site outside of Salisaw. We've done so much in this preservation space recently. And we've launched new attractions that will drive visitors and spur local economic activity with small business owners. Two of those I'm particularly proud of are the Anna Mitchell Cultural and Welcome Center in Veneta and the new Cultural Pathway in Tahlequah. The creative spark for both of those new endeavors was Cherokee Nation First Lady January Hoskin. Our team of experts executed her concepts exceptionally well. Our team's effort plays a vital role in sharing our story with the rest of the world. Cherokee Nation's portfolio of attractions ensures visitors get a sense of our people and our culture wherever they are within our reservation. Within our reservation, enjoying an abundance of lakes, rivers, state parks, and natural trails, there are so many places to explore across the Cherokee Nation, both for fun and education. For Cherokee people, tourism has always been a part of our modern way of life. We have a purpose and passion for developing our communities and creating strong Cherokee families with good jobs. A major part of that is developing tourism opportunities, and it always will be. Cherokee art and culture are simply beautiful and worth celebrating, and we have always been eager to share that in an appropriate way. I hope on today's broadcast you developed an appreciation for the rich culture and heritage of our people and our reservation lands. Wado.
All right, Chief, thank you so much for joining me for a quick Q&A. We want to get your perspective. Tell us, why is it so important for Cherokee Nation to have our own museums, and what you hope people get from visiting those?
Well, it's important because we need to tell our story. First of all, no one does it better. The Cherokee people telling their own story is the best. But we also know for generations, other people told our story, and they often told it incomplete or inaccurate. And so telling our story through our museums is a really powerful way to do it. We also do it well. I mean, if you go into our museums, you see really first-class exhibits. You get an experience that, whether you're Cherokee or not, leaves you feeling something about Cherokee culture you didn't have when you came in, because it's such a rich and deep experience. So we don't miss the opportunity to tell that story, and we've got so many opportunities across our system of museums and our sites.
Yeah. When you visit a Cherokee Nation museum, or even a casino really, or other site that we run, you will see art from Cherokee artists, which I know is something that's important to your administration. So can you talk more about that and the support for Cherokee artists in those locations and others?
Well, I think it's one of the most beautiful aspects of all of our buildings, whether it's our government buildings, our museums, our casinos, any of our places where we work or showcase our programs and businesses. You're going to find art, beautiful art. It's important because it, again, helps tell that story through art, through culture. Also gives our artists an opportunity to earn a living and to show what they can do. We make a special effort at the Cherokee Nation to do that. So anytime we build a building, there's been a law in the books for a long time. This is 1% of the construction cost will include art. More recently, though, we took a look at what happened during the pandemic, and many of our artists struggled because getting access to commercial art markets when everything was shut down was difficult for many of our artists. And so we, the Deputy Chief and I, proposed to our council something called the Artist Recovery Act, which the council approved. That's $3 million to purchase more art, to create more opportunities for our artists to teach others their craft and their art. And so you're going to see more and more art in our facilities in the coming months and years.
Well, sticking with art, and when we talk about tourism in the Cherokee Nation, we have a couple of events, well, several events, but two very large events where you can see and purchase Cherokee art, and that is Cherokee National Holiday every year, and then the annual Cherokee Art Market. Can you talk about the impact of those?
These are wonderful opportunities really to showcase our art to the world. I mean, think about the Cherokee National Holiday. 100,000 people come to Tahlequah, really more than that, many from out of state, some international tourists, and so they're coming to experience Cherokee culture. Whether they come near or far, there's an opportunity to buy Cherokee art. And the Cherokee Art Market has been around a long time, and its reputation just continues to climb and climb and climb until we're today, I think, regarded as one of the premier native art markets in the country. And so Cherokee art, of course, is near and dear to my heart, but you have a lot of other tribes that present their art, or tribal art is presented. And so, again, it's an opportunity for our artists. It's an opportunity to tell our story. It's an opportunity for art patrons to get really the best in native art, and you can get it at either of those events.
And pro tip for those of you who might be coming this year for it, get there early. You want to get the good stuff before it's gone.
Absolutely.
And my last question is, what do you hope that Cherokee Nation citizens take away from today's show on this topic, and why is it important for our citizens out there to understand this?
You know, I hope our citizens get a deeper sense of our commitment to cultural tourism and what that means. means. I mean, it means the museums, it means cultural experiences. If you're a Cherokee citizen like me, you may have grown up not knowing all there is to know about art and culture in the Cherokee world. We're all learning. And I think a Cherokee citizen today, whether you're a young person, an older person, you've got an opportunity today to experience Cherokee culture that frankly, many Cherokees in the past couple of generations haven't had because, for the longest time, there were pressures that suppressed our culture and our art and our lifeways. But we're in an era now where not only are those not suppressed, they're celebrated, and we have the resources to celebrate those in our museum, the Cherokee National History Museum. We're developing a new Cherokee Heritage Center, and we're reimagining what that could be. The Anna Mitchell Cultural Center in Veneta, our cultural pathway in Tahlequah. The art and culture experience across the Cherokee Nation is something that I hope people watching get a deeper sense of, and then I hope they go experience that for themselves because we're proud to be Cherokee, and there's so many ways to express that and explore that, and that's what I think today's show really is about.
Absolutely. Wadochi, thank you very much for being here.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, let's check in with OsiyoTV and Cherokee National Treasure Danny McCarter, who works at the Cherokee National History Museum and is a great representative for us, guiding the many tourists who visit Tahlequah to learn more about our tribe. Take a look.
My name is Danny McCarter. My name is pretty synonymous with the blowgun. I mean, I've been doing it for 30 years, and I've taught a lot of classes, showed a lot of people, and so really, most people know me as a blowgun maker.
I was born and raised here in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. I always tease people, this is God's country, this is the only place where heaven touches the earth, is Tahlequah. I work at the Cherokee National History Museum. We share the culture with the people who come, the visitors who come. Yeah, Cherokees are big on stories. My whole life's one big story. The reason I do things is because of the stories I'm told. People always ask me, why do you have so much patience when people ask you to do things? And when I was a little kid, my Aunt Fanny, she taught me how to tie my shoes. And so when I got sent to school at that time, nobody knew how to tie their shoes but me. But I would spend almost my whole recess tying people's shoes. Because they'd come up and tie my shoe. So I think that's kind of where I developed that, got to help somebody. I started working in the ancient village in 1980, and I wanted to be the blowgun guy because that's what William Cabothead did. And I was kind of young at that time, so they said, well, we'll make you a tour guide. I give tours, I talk to people, I give them stories, but shooting the blowgun for people, again, like I said, that it's really so amazing to small children. I mean, you just poof, and you shoot that gun, and when that dart hits that target, them kids will just, wow, and that's always amazing. That always makes you feel good. It was a family place. I mean, my kids worked here. Talk to people that are my age, they'll always tell you, I had an aunt, I had an uncle, I had a cousin that worked in the village. They always had that motto, to teach, preserve, promote Cherokee history and culture, and that's what they've done. If you spend enough time here, you will. I mean, it's just fall in love with the place. It really makes an impression on you when you come here. A lot of our Cherokee National Treasures, that's where a lot of them got their craft, was working in the village. I myself, I've learned from a lot of different people. William being one of them, Jess Osawee being another, Scott Ratcliffe, the man I worked with at the Heritage Center. He had a lot to do with my outlook on River Cane. All those guys are Cherokee National Treasures. In a sense, though, Cherokee National Treasures are people who pass along their information. See, it's like they're gone now, but I'm still remembering the things that they taught us. So that's where it never really goes away.
Joining me now are Vice President of Cultural Tourism, Travis Owens, who oversees all of our museum operations, and Melissa Payne, a Cherokee Nation citizen and community advisor. Welcome to you both. Thank you so much for joining us. We're hoping that you'll share some of your insights about the Cherokee National History Museum and the historic exhibit that is there right now. So Travis, I will start with you. Could you give us the basics about the Cherokee National History Museum and what you hope people learn there?
Sure. So the Cherokee National History Museum is in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. It's set in a historic structure. One of our most iconic structures in Cherokee Nation was built in 1869, just after the Civil War. Most Cherokees know it as the courthouse. And so it opened in 2019 as the Cherokee National History Museum. We focused for several years on historic restoration in different phases that really brought the building back to life and gave it a new place in time. And so after opening, we have focused on a lot of changing exhibits through there to keep public programs going. But it's a great space. It tells the story of Cherokee Nation history from time immemorial to present day. Downstairs, there's a gallery and community gathering space. There's a changing gallery, which I'll talk about in just a minute. And then upstairs, we have this amazing art installation by some of our Cherokee National treasures, which sets you back in a place of time to one of our origin stories. And the artists that we worked with really took their art form and made a visual storytelling with it. And so from there, you kind of move through history across 4,000 square feet. All the way to our present day. And so there's a lot for our community to engage with in that museum. There's a lot of great opportunities for folks to connect with our history and culture, and really proud of the contemporary history that we tell there. You know, post-1970, it talks about who we are today. You know, we're still a thriving people. So we're excited for folks to continue to check that out. And then downstairs, we've had really our first larger changing exhibit space. And so just the end of last summer, we opened a brand new exhibit called We Are Cherokee, Cherokee Friedman and the Right to Citizenship. And that project has been in development for a couple of years. We had the opportunity to work with folks like Melissa with the Cherokee Friedman Advisory Committee. It was established by Chief Hoskin under the Cherokee Friedman Art and History Project, which has, the exhibit's just one piece of that. And so, this exhibit is something we're really proud to share, and we hope it help elevate the voices of our Cherokee Friedman community as well.
It absolutely does. And I mean, the exhibits in the History Museum, they're breathtaking. And this one, it is also breathtaking. It's every time I go there, I see something new. So Melissa, this sounds like there's been a lot of work in the development of this exhibit. Can you tell us a little bit about the role of the advisory committee?
Absolutely. As Travis just shared with you, to help elevate the voices of the Cherokee Freedman community was the purpose of this whole ordeal. So we can now share a lot of information about what happened in the past, or those things that we have lost, the history that we have lost. And when you look into Friedman or try to research anything in that sense, you can't find anything. So this was a beautiful exhibit to be a part of. And my role was to find out, get the information, get the stories from the Freedman community so that we can have it coming from the people, them telling stories about their ancestors, et cetera. So my role was just to connect between the two and pass out flyers, all of the above. I mean, I posted on Facebook, et cetera, but just to get those stories from the people that experienced things or their ancestors were able to share, and even art. So that was my role, and I loved what I did.
And it's a role that's unprecedented, really. So you guys did a really outstanding job. And it must be an incredible feeling to be part of telling that important story.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Travis, what was it like working with the committee to develop the exhibit?
It was an amazing process, and a learning process, and still a learning process. So, this has been one of the proudest things we've had the opportunity to do, because the way we approached this project, and that was part of the vision with Chief Hoskin, was that this wasn't, we have a process when we develop exhibits. We do an extensive amount of research. Our team, I think, is very talented in the care that we take not only with our stories, but with our culture. And so this opportunity working with the Cherokee Freedman Advisory Committee gave us an opportunity to work in concert with the voices that we're representing. We don't often get that in that direct way. Of course, we do consultation with Cherokee community members when we're telling stories, but this was different in that, the thought to even say, let's go out and reach out to community and let their voices be part of that. That came from the committee. And I think that's the most impactful part of the exhibition is there's, we tell a linear history based on themes about Cherokees, and their participation in slavery. It's a very real and hard story to tell. We talk about the Civil War and the implications of that following the Treaty of 1866, which granted full rights to the Cherokee freedmen. And we talk about the modern fight. And all of those stories are, they're heart-wrenching at times, they're moving. But when you go into that building and you're surrounded by the voices of a people, it's just amazing. And that's the work of the committee. And they really, they really worked hard to try to make the representation of the Cherokee freedmen voices the most prominent part of the exhibition. And I think they did a great job working with us on that.
I agree. This is the first time hearing you all talk about that process. And to me, that is absolutely what comes through when I visit the exhibit. So that's really wonderful. Melissa, what did it feel like to work on this, but then to see it come to life in the exhibit inside the History Museum?
It was one of the most amazing feelings. When we were doing this, it was over Zoom due to COVID, et cetera. And so you seen it, you knew what was happening, but it's so moving once you go inside this museum. It's like, whoa, I seen it, but I didn't see it like this. And it's a taste of everything. It was very emotional. Mm-hmm. I had a little bit of every feeling I could express, every feeling. I mean, it was some things like you said, Travis, previously, some things that were hard to, take in. And then there was things that you could smile about, and you seen pictures or art where it's showing them dancing and celebrating with individuals. Mm-hmm. Then you see where some were sold, where they were sold. And so it was just a mix of emotions, but it was most definitely needed. It moved me, and I was so thankful when I seen this exhibit, going inside and actually viewing it for yourself. And as I say to anyone that I ever talk to about it, you need to go check it out. Mm-hmm. Because even looking at it over the, whenever you get online and you go and you can see it on YouTube, it's not a justice. You have to go inside. And then you see all the names of different people on the roll. It was so moving. Yeah. It really was.
Yeah, it has to be emotional. But I mean, also just, you're kind of like enveloped in the exhibit whenever you're there. So yes. You must have tremendous pride in being able to bring these stories into the public eye. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Travis, what are the plans for this exhibit in the future?
Yeah, so the exhibit will close this June. So we hope folks get a chance to come check it out before then in the History Museum. We love Cherokee stories taking place in our Cherokee facilities,
Sure.
But we hope that this exhibit, we've got some plans we're working to travel this exhibit to our Cherokee communities in kind of banner displays. And then we're working with some other institutions to try to make this exhibit go into some other museum experiences, both close to home and maybe some far away.
Okay.
And, I think our goal is that we think this is a really important story, and the work's not going to stop. When the exhibit ends in the History Museum, we hope that work continues, and it will. And we hope that it will continue to elevate the voice of our Cherokee freedmen community.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I can't wait to see what happens next. Wado to both of you for coming and sharing your phenomenal and important work. We really appreciate it.
Wado.
Well, I'm hoping each of you make a point to come and take in these historical and impactful exhibits in the Cherokee Nation soon. If you haven't already, make a trip to the Cherokee Nation. Up next, you may not know who he is, but you've probably seen his artwork. We want to fix that today and introduce you to the Cherokee National treasure behind Cherokee National holiday designs and some exhibits at our museums, Mr. Dan Meek. He sat down with OsiyoTV on season 7, which, by the way, is now streaming online. Check it out here.
To take my culture, my heritage, and to put it into the form of art form of design, I feel like now I've contributed something to the bigger picture, to our people, to our story. Hello, my name is Dan Mink. I'm the lead graphic designer for the Cherokee Nation Communications Office. More of a cultural designer. I do ads, brochures, posters, t-shirts, and I kind of see myself as trying to combine traditional art to a modern look.
I think one of the most beautiful and brilliant things about Dan's work is how he incorporates not only these motifs that have been around for thousands of years and that our ancestors have used, but he puts them alongside vibrant modern design elements. And so it's really able to marry the history of Cherokee Nation with the future of Cherokee Nation into one graphic. Dan's work really reaches everybody on a global level because a lot of his work is used to portray Cherokee Nation to the outside world. And especially around the time of Cherokee National Holiday, when we have materials going out, his work really has a global audience. And so I think it's really important how accurate his work is and how beautiful his work is because it really serves as the face of Cherokee Nation.
My job here when I was hired was to create an identity for us, a distinctive look for the Cherokee Nation. Now, here we are, 15, 16 years later. Here in this office, this is where it began. This is kind of an extension of me now, this little stylus pen. And it's just a different medium now. Instead of oil paint, it's a click here, a drag here, a little click and hold to have a different function on the pen. When I'm doing this, that's kind of when I'm in the zone. I don't say a lot, and I don't really speak that much. A lot goes in my head. There's a lot of emotions involved in some of these designs and creations.
We encourage you to watch more of Dan's story and many more Cherokee documentaries on our website, free of charge and at your convenience at OsiyoTV. Spring break travel season is coming up, and it's never too early to begin planning your summer vacations either. Hopefully, if you live outside of our reservation, your travel plans include a trip home to the Cherokee Nation. Joining me to talk about ways to visit Cherokee Nation, we have Deputy Chief Bryan Warner and Senior Vice President of Marketing and Cultural Tourism for CNB, Molly Jarvis. Thank you both for being here.
See you, Jen.
Glad to be here.
All right, the Cherokee Nation encompasses 7,000 square miles of beauty, and often our landscapes surprise visitors. Deputy Chief Warner, for those people who maybe you're not familiar with the Cherokee Nation Reservation and our geography, can you talk about some of the regions? We call them eco-regions sometimes, and your favorite landscapes or areas to visit?
You bet. Well, I'm glad you brought this up. It is a good time for people. There's going to be a lot of baseball being played during this time. People are getting ready, but you've got to take a break. You got to let these kids grow, and the best place for them to grow is outside. So let's start at like Lake Tenkiller, if we will. A beautiful place, several different marinas that are out there, so you get a whole variety of that. It's one of the prettiest lakes in Oklahoma.
It is.
Very deep water, great for skiing. That's where I learned how to water ski and different things. Jet skis, great fishing. You've got all the little tributaries that come off of there. So if you're into fishing, I've seen some more paddleboarding as that stuff has become important. As you kind of move up from there, you can't get away from the Illinois River. Through the week and different times. A lot of people will talk about, well, isn't it a lot of college kids there? Well, there's times through the week that it's better to go visit for family and different things like that. But I think GRDA does a really good job of policing that river. It's calmed down a lot in the last few years that I've noticed going up there. So anything from kayaking, rafting, all of that. Kind of moving, you keep moving up north a little bit if you're into taking a nature hike or walking natural falls. is a beautiful place to go and get out and to take the family, take a stroll. If you know anything about the ethnobotany of the area, maybe start naming some trees, helping some kids identify some plants and different things like that. You can't get away, though, from Grand Lake. Two different lakes when you're talking about Tenkiller. A lot of real natural beauty if you're into great houses and architecture and just big boats and everything big. Grand Lake is your place. A lot of places on the water to get a good bite to eat, enjoy family time. Shangri-La has been something that a lot of families have enjoyed. As you kind of keep moving, there's so many different places. If you're into gigging fish and different things like Lake Uchi, that time of the year when that gigging tournament, and we're getting close to that time of year, so many families, they reside around that area. That's one of their big things. And if you ever want to see something just totally chaos, go there early in the morning when the boats take off. I think we've seen some of that on OsiyoTV. But there's just so many little lakes and streams. There's too many to name. But I tell everybody, take a trip, go out. And hey, if just cruising and getting along, think about Route 66. I mean, look at how many miles of Route 66 that we have through the Cherokee Nation Reservation. There's just something for everybody. And being a horseman that I am, there's plenty of places to go horseback riding, different things. A lot of our national refuges and different things, our wildlife places, they'll allow you to come in. I see a lot of trailers when I go through Cookson on Blue Top Road going from Salisaw to Tahlequah. You'll see that certain time of the year there's more horseback riding going on. And certainly, we've got around 14 miles of horseback riding at Cherokee National Park. So that is something, we're underway on some renovations and stuff there, but just feel free to reach out. And I always say just to have everybody just go out and take an adventure. Take one day, just drive around. If you see some different things that you want to get off into, there's plenty. There's water, there's land, there's animals, so many things. And hey, we even have some friends that are across the way at the Buffalo National River at that national park, and we've got some MOUs in place with them where our medicine keepers go over and they're able to get those plants. But if you've never seen some of the most beautiful water in the world is at the Buffalo River. So.
Yeah, very good. All right, great advice. Thank you very much. And Molly, within our 7,000 square miles, we have several Cherokee owned and operated sites. So we're going to pop up a map for everybody here that'll give viewers a chance to kind of see the map of the Cherokee Nation and some of our Cherokee owned and operated sites that are within our reservation. Could you give us a summary? This is going to be a lot, but could you give us a summary of each site? Because they're all really unique and cool sites to visit.
Yes, absolutely, Jennifer. We'll go on a little tour here from north to south through Cherokee Nation, starting at the Anna Mitchell Cultural and Welcome Center in Veneta. It's located just off of I-44. This center offers permanent and rotating exhibits, indoor and outdoor art installations, refreshments, and a gift shop. It also serves as a Cherokee community space for meetings, events, and classes. The 9,400 square foot, two-story stone building is situated on 8 acres overlooking historic Route 66. The center is named after renowned Cherokee National Treasure Anna Mitchell, a trailblazing artist and authority on both southeastern and eastern woodland-style Native American pottery. Anna Mitchell was designated a Cherokee National Treasure in 1988 for revitalizing this art and sharing her knowledge and skills. Traveling just 47 miles south and east is our next stop at the Saline Courthouse Museum in Rose. Built in 1884, the Saline Courthouse is the only one of 9 original Cherokee District courthouses in Cherokee Nation still standing today. The site is on 14 rural acres, along with a spring house and historic cemetery. Moving just 34 miles south to Tahlequah, the capital of our Cherokee Nation, we find the Cherokee National History Museum. This historic site was restored and opened in 2019. The museum resides in the original Cherokee National Capitol building. Interactivity is a key feature of the Cherokee National History Museum, and you can experience the Trail of Tears gallery here, brought to life by authentic voices of Cherokee people. Just outside the Cherokee National History Museum are the Peace Pavilion and the Cultural Pathway. The Peace Pavilion is an open-air community gathering space. The structure is modeled after a historic structure that was located on Capitol Square and hosted the largest gathering of tribal nations in Indian Territory in 1843. The cultural pathway connects our downtown museum locations and offers a space for public art and respite. Along the cultural pathway, you will find the Cherokee National Supreme Court Museum. The Cherokee National Supreme Court Museum was built in 1884 and is Oklahoma's oldest government building still standing today. Exhibit areas tell the story of the Cherokee judicial system and Cherokee written language and evolution of Cherokee journalism with the original printing presses of the Cherokee Advocate newspaper, along with authentic works from the Cherokee Phoenix. Moving to the end of the pathway, you will enter the Cherokee National Prison Museum. Here you will learn the history of Cherokee law and order. The prison was built in 1875 to hold the most hardened criminals in Indian Territory. Today, it is home to a 2-building interpretive site exploring the history of Cherokee crime and punishment, law enforcement, life at the prison, and an overview of famous outlaws and their activity in the area. From here, you will drive south through Tahlequah to the Cherokee National Research Center and Cherokee Gift Shop, both located at Cherokee Springs Plaza. This state-of-the-art facility is home to a collection of thousands of Cherokee artifacts and archives, formerly housed at the Cherokee Heritage Center. We are committed to honoring the legacy of the Cherokee Heritage Center, who have been incredible stewards of this collection since 1967. The center provides access to archival materials, a research library, and genealogy services to assist in family history research. Artifacts, documents, and other materials are available to view in person or by request, and the center is dedicated to digitizing the collection for greater accessibility. The Cherokee Gift Shop is next door, where you'll find authentic Native American jewelry and art, Cherokee Nation apparel, and literature and Pendleton merchandise. Next, you can travel to the John Ross Museum in Park Hill. John Ross was Principal Chief for more than 30 years during the Trail of Tears, the Civil War, and the Cherokee Golden Age. The John Ross Museum, housed in a former rural school built in 1913, takes visitors on a journey into his life and leadership. For our final destination, we will travel 42 miles south to Sallisaw to the Sequoia's Cabin Museum. Sequoia created our written Cherokee language. Sequoia's Cabin Museum is listed on the National Register of Historic Places and was built in 1829 and has been maintained and furnished to appear as it did centuries ago. During a visit to this site, you can enjoy the serene 10 acres that surrounds the museum.
And there you have it, your spring break or summer vacation in 5 minutes with a map. So many great sites to see, either Cherokee owned or not. So thank you for that. And sticking with you, Molly, what would you say are some of the highlights and best things to do when families visit the Cherokee Nation?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jennifer. And really, all of this can be done in a day trip or an extended vacation. And so I think one of the best places to visit right now is our newest site, the Anna Mitchell Cultural and Welcome Center, where visitors can grab a bite to eat in our Cherokee-inspired coffee shop. They can do some shopping, and they can see an art exhibit and spend some time outdoors. So that's a great site. But then there are also many others with activities such as spring break. We have make and take activities and a scavenger hunt. Mm-hmm. But then regularly, we also have Cherokee classes and demonstrations such as finger weaving, ribbon skirt making, pottery demonstrations. So there's always something to do in Cherokee Nation. Some of those classes require a registration, mm-hmm. and all of this information can be found at visitcherokeenation.com. I was just going to say, I encourage all of you to go to visitcherokeenation.com and follow Visit Cherokee Nation on social media, because they're always
updates telling you about these things, opportunities that you can take advantage of when you're here. Great. Deputy Chief, in your role, you meet Cherokee Nation citizens often who are visiting for the first time, or maybe some who come home often. What do you advise them to do while they're here, and what have been some of their favorite things to do that they've reported back to you?
You know, I think my best advice would be to them, hey, take time. And look here, don't think that you can get it all done in one visit. So please come back for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 visits. There's just so much to do. And Oklahoma beauty is just much like the weather. It can change, and we see these different seasons. So come back and enjoy these sites at different seasons, because each one of them has something special to give you each and every season. I think that's one of the things. But, you know, looking at what people come to me, they love our the old towns and the different things that we went through. They want to know more about, Dwight Mission in our area. They want to know more about the places like Marble City. You know, they were like, hey, we read where this was like the hustling, bustling town in the early 1800s, you know, and they go through there and they see different things. Going to visit, they love to encounter everything that Tahlequah has to offer. You know, it is a college town, so it has that feel. In the summer, the college town life slows down a little bit. Traffic's a little less hectic, but there's so many things to see. And I think you can take in, for me, they love it because they can bring their kids, their family. There's really something for everybody in Northeast Oklahoma. And coming up lately, we know in Northwest Arkansas, when you look at what the individuals have done up there for biking trails and different things, they say, well, I wish they would do some more of that. Well, it's happening in Oklahoma. And Vian, one of the same groups that designed those trails, has designed the trails in Vian called the System. So that's something really neat for people to do. And we have some really adventurous folks out there that want to know, hey, how can we get a trail from Vian all the way to Northwest Arkansas and travel through Northeast Oklahoma? And I tell them, look, why don't you take some time, just go through, stop at all the different spots. But, when we do a really good job, Molly, your team does an excellent job at going out and marketing these places. And it's important for me because that's economic development and commerce for these areas where they haven't seen that before.
Right.
And something that we do really well that I think others pay attention to is how we bolster tourism in our area and have people to come in and enjoy what we have. But really what I think, thinking back to what the people really enjoy here is the fact that when you pass people that you don't know, they say hi, they say hello. And when you get into a Cherokee community, you hear CO, and that's something that is so special to individuals because you can travel all over the world. We feel like we're the friendliest here in Northeast Oklahoma and the most inviting and welcoming. And, and if there's something that is not here, us, here in the Cherokee Nation, we try to make that happen and bring them back. So I just say, take your time, plan on, 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 visits, year round, different times, come back and enjoy it and just see what we have to offer.
Great. This question is for both of you. I'll start with you, Molly, but what do you hope to see in the future when it comes to sites people can visit in Cherokee Nation?
Yeah, again, great question. And really what we want them to see today and in the future is really an authentic Cherokee Nation. We want to always present ourselves in the most authentic way. So whether that's viewing our sites through the interpretation of a tour guide or through one of our artists, the eyes of one of our artists or an experience with an artist, or through new technology. So we want immersive experiences where people can really get into the culture. And I think there are so many ways to do that. Again, whether it's, taking a class and learning from an artist or through a new and a great technological advancement in some way that they're viewing. So authenticity is the key, but then I think the experience is up to the individual.
Yeah.
No, Molly's exactly right. That dignified approach to a culture that is so precious to us and to so many others. And really, I think the key for us to capture is how can we capture traditional Cherokee lifeways in the 21st century? How can we utilize the technology, whether it be augmented reality and all these different things that are out there to depict, you're standing here in 2023, what did it look like before? And that's what really, that starts to evoke the the spirit of the kids they ask those questions, and their parents start to tell a story of, well, I heard my grandmother did this, and then my grandfather lived here. Having people come in from all the parts of the United States back home to come here and just enjoy, I think we can give them that experience. And like Molly said it best, though, that approach, our ancestors had a resiliency and a perseverance that built character, that led to hope. And that hope in our future, we want to be able to look back at our past and understand where we are currently, but we want to see where we're going. And I think we can do that through all of the things that we offer here in the Cherokee Nation.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you both for being here today and sharing your insights. I'm sure a lot of people are excited to get here after hearing all of this. Thanks.
Thank you.
Jennifer.
Now let's go to Tribal Counselor Daryl Legg, who joins us from Tahlequah. With Sequoia's Cabin Museum in his district, he knows the impacts of tourism. Counselor Legg?
OCO, it is my honor as a member of the Council of Cherokee Nation to be joining you today for Cherokee wherever we are. Anytime we can share the values of our people, community, and culture, and how they positively impact our families is a good day. Helping grow the local economy is what spurred the idea behind the things that we are doing in tourism, and that includes sharing our history. Outside of my hometown of Salisaw, the Sequoia Cabin Museum site remains one of the most beautiful parcels of land on our reservation. It is such a significant part of our community, and its place in Cherokee lore is truly unique. I know as a father of young children, I look for places like that where I can take my family to enjoy wholesome, fun, and educational experience. Today, more than ever, people across the world have a real hunger for Native and Cherokee arts and culture. We want them to experience our heritage and see our life ways, and better understand the values of our people. The Cherokee Nation Businesses Culture Tourism Team is second to none, and we are providing access and the kind of experiences that keep families coming back. I'm thankful that under Chief Chuck Hoskin, Deputy Chief Bryan Warner, CNB CEO Chuck Garrett, we are prioritizing tourism efforts, offering true history, authentic art, and one-of-a-kind culturally based experiences to travelers and to keep people who reside within our reservation. That also includes our scenic outdoor opportunities like the National Cherokee Nation Park and our new wildlife preserve, both of these which are located in Sequoia County. We have pristine waters like lakes and rivers, as well as an abundance of camping and hiking and biking trails in northeast Oklahoma. Our mission to properly honor our natural world, our Cherokee history, and the arts is stronger than ever, and that is something we can all take pride in. Cherokee Nation's portfolio of tourism sites across the reservations are where people can learn about the language, the culture, the art, and the history of our people. Working on the council has been one of the most rewarding things I've done in my life, and I know our efforts ensure we will remain a trusted beacon for education, culture, family, and fun for a long time. It truly helps to show the world what it means to be Cherokee. Wado.
Wado, Counselor Legg. And now Christy Neuhoff, the president of the Cherokee National Historical Society, will share some exciting details about the future of the Cherokee Heritage Center, followed by Cherokee National Treasurer Tommy Wildcat to close us out. Wado for being here. Doda Daggle Hunty.
OCO, I'm Christy Neuhoff, president of the Cherokee National Historical Society's Board of Directors. It is truly an honor to serve in this role, especially during such an exciting time of revitalization. We recently celebrated the 2-year anniversary of the Cherokee Heritage Center Act, which was presented by Chief Hoskin and approved unanimously by the Council of the Cherokee Nation. This historic legislation is bringing new life to the Cherokee Heritage Center, and we're thankful and excited for what the future holds. In just 2 short years, we've achieved some incredible milestones, including safely relocating our most treasured archives and collections to the Cherokee National Research Center. But our work is really just beginning. The vision for the Cherokee Heritage Center is to become a top cultural destination. Our strategic plan was approved in 2022, and we've been working diligently on master site planning where all of the details truly come to life. The plan is deeply rooted and informed by the legacy of the Cherokee Heritage Center's founders, members, and employees. It includes expansive galleries, living history, and cultural collections, with space for cultural demonstrations, community gatherings, programs, and performing arts. It will be a place that fosters and celebrates community with connection to past, present, and future. will be accessible, authentic, engaging, educational, and entertaining, and should feel like it belongs to every Cherokee, no matter where they live. We will offer multiple experiences, each with its own distinctive identity. One thing I get asked about most is the seminary columns. While we do not have official plans to roll out just yet, I can assure you that every effort is being made to honor the site's historical footprint, and the columns remain part of the future vision. Our next steps require delving into greater details on design, programming, site preparation, and more. We're also continuing our work to preserve and promote Cherokee history, art, and culture with the opening of the 52nd Annual Trail of Tears Art Show and Sale, which will take place April 8th through May 6th. As the longest-running Native American art show and competition in Oklahoma, this show features the work of more than 100 artists representing more than a dozen tribal nations. We hope everyone will join us to experience this outstanding show, either in person at the gallery in the Cherokee Springs Plaza or online. I hope you are as excited about these upcoming developments as I am. More information will be shared in the coming months. Wado. And now we will hear from Cherokee National Treasurer, Tommy Wildcat. Tommy.
Hawa, tō tāko hai, te kā, ane iau ia, ane jalaki. Watong.